Okay, hello everybody, welcome to this Verbling class. My name's Teacher Amy, and today's class is part of my series called Around the World in 80 Days, where we basically travel virtually around the world, finding out little things, interesting things about different countries. So we practice our reading and pronunciation by reading an article about something somewhere of interest, and today we're going to be reading about USA, which is a country I don't know whether we've looked at before. We're going to be looking at particularly the city of Detroit, which isn't maybe one of those ones that you'd immediately think of when you want to go to the USA, but we're going to be talking about cycling. So if you're interested in sports, you want to find out more about the USA, or you just want some reading practice, then do come along, join us. It'd be great to have you. While we're waiting for any students, we'll check out, I just want to let you know about 2 pages, which I'm going to paste into the chat box. They are my Verbling teacher page is the second of the 2 links, and I don't know why I'm doing them the wrong way around, but anyway, the Facebook page is the first. Guys, if you could just close any other extra windows if you have them, because I can hear myself repeating back. Alright, so if you need to find out some more information about any of the teachers, then do head to their Verbling teacher pages, because what you'll find there is, well, some information about the teachers themselves, who they are, how long they've been teaching, maybe what they specialize in, etc. You can also see when their upcoming classes are, and this is a class, just to point out that when we have more than one student and we have a set topic, that's what we call a class. If you're interested in having private tutoring, like just you and the teacher, you can use that time for whatever you like. So if you would like to have a private tutoring session, you can also head to the teacher pages, check out their calendars, see when they're free, and book a slot all from there. And if you have any questions about any of this, then you can send us a message. There's a messaging feature there as well. So good luck with that. Do get in touch with us if you'd like to. We're going to start by just saying hi and seeing who we've got to talk about Detroit, see if anyone's been there. So Marcos, welcome back.
Thank you.
Have you ever been to the USA?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you plan to go?
Well, I can't go yet. I have to save some money for it.
Right, but you would like to at some point, yeah?
Yeah.
It's on your
in the
list
future.
of places to go.
Yeah.
All right,
London as
so
well.
London as well?
Yeah.
All right, you've got your sights set high on lots of travel.
Yeah.
All right, so focusing on the USA, is there a particular place that you would love to go to? I mean, it's a big country, very diverse, lots of interesting stuff to see and do. Do you have somewhere on your must-see list?
Well, no, actually I don't. Probably
No?
not New York. Washington. Maybe California too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What most interests you about the country? Would it be just practicing English, or maybe seeing history, or maybe what, like their natural landscape's pretty amazing in some parts?
Well, if I manage to get to travel there, I would like to experience a little bit of everything.
All right, the whole deal, everything in one.
The whole package.
The whole package, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's great, Marcos. Welcome to the class. We'll say hello to Juan Carlos. How are you?
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good, thank you, Juan Carlos. Did you have a good weekend?
My last weekend?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was great.
Good, excellent. Have you ever been to the USA?
Twice.
Have you been to Detroit?
No, not
All
yet.
right, not
Uh,
yet.
New York and Houston.
New York and Houston. And what did you think? Did you like it?
Yes, New York is amazing. It's a great city, and they had everything you want.
Everything you ever imagine, right? All right, thanks, Juan Carlos. Well,
It's
yeah.
it's quite nice too. I like it.
did you say you
Houston.
liked Houston as well? Okay. And
Yeah.
what was different about those two places? I mean, I'm sure there was everything. But
Uh,
what would you say the biggest difference?
the biggest difference is New York is crowded. Is all is near,
Yeah.
and Houston all is spare. I don't know how to say. It's
A
all
lot of
is far
space?
away. Excuse me?
Maybe a lot of space? Or quiet? Usually when we say not crowded, what we say is it's quiet. We mean
Mm,
there's not many people.
yeah. No, I mean the city is big. It's really big, but it's everything is far away. It's
Spread
between
out. Spread out.
spread out. Yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
All right, so you have to maybe drive in the city to get from place to
A lot.
place.
Yes, a lot.
Ah, and in New York, it's much easier to walk or maybe get a cab.
Yes.
All
Mm.
right, very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see if
Okay.
anyone else has been to USA in here. Jose, welcome back.
Thank you, teacher.
Have you ever been to America?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so you're the same as Marcos. Where would you particularly like to go?
Oh, well, teacher, I have not passed the boundary of Ceará yet. I'm studying a lot, and I intend to travel when I finish my studies.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know if you uh, have already know, but I'm a PhD student. I'm studying math a lot. I don't know if I tell you.
I don't remember you telling me, but then again, I don't have the best memory sometimes. Um,
Don't worry.
I'm not very good at maths either. But all right. So once you're done studying, you're going to do some traveling.
Uh, mm, until now, not. Until now, I don't have made some trip for
Hmm.
another state. Uh, and in Brazil, uh, how I had said, I have never going to another.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're too busy. You just stay at home all the time, Jose.
yeah, I have many things to do.
That's totally understandable. You know, I've hardly traveled much in my own country, so I know exactly what you mean. All right.
I'm
Well,
sad
welcome.
for that, teacher.
You're sad about it.
Yeah, I'm sad because I want to know about new cultures or and another country, but it's not possible yet. I will do that in the future.
Yeah, it's on your to-do list. All right, great. Well, good luck with that, Jose. Same to Marcos. Hello again to Greg.
Hello.
Greg, have you been to the US of A?
Not yet. I'm planning, but I don't know when exactly it will happen.
All right. Do you have a specific destination of choice?
Not really. I was thinking to see how it's like to be in the, I don't know, in more thinking about the states, Alaska, Texas, and places like this. But I don't have any specific plans. I have some members of the family, and I have actually, when I was in hometown, I met some Americans who speak Polish and English at the same time. So I think it's quite interesting country to see it, even because I'm still, interested in learning American English and British English at the same time. So quite be cool to see what is going on there. But I hate flying the airplanes, so I don't know.
Ah, okay. You don't like flying.
No, I hate it. Every time when I have to go to the plane, I'm just stressed out. I don't know
Yeah,
how
that
I.
would make it
Yeah, and that
You
will
have
be
to. Yeah.
that will be probably 10 hours, 11 hours. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, even if you fly to New York, it's I think a good I don't know, at least 8 hours. It might be longer. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a long way. So if you don't like flying, yeah, you'll have to consider that carefully, Greg.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Welcome back to the class. I'll say hello also to David.
Hello, Amy. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you, David. How are you? How's Colombia?
Colombia is nice, like always. Thank you for asking. And how is New Zealand? New Zealand?
It's getting warmer. It's getting warmer. I've ditched the
It's warm.
scarf today.
Yeah. It's summer.
Yeah.
Right now it's summer?
No, it's the end of winter. It's technically spring now, but it takes a
Spring.
while to warm up. Yeah.
Okay. Here is like, I don't know, sometimes it's cloudy, but in the afternoon it's sunny. Yeah, it's a little crazy.
Yeah, changeable weather.
Yeah.
All right, David, have you ever been to America?
No, never.
And would you like to, or do you have other destinations you'd rather go to?
I would like to go to England or Australia, maybe. Yeah.
All right, so other parts of the English-speaking world.
Yeah, other parts.
Very good. Well, great to have you in the class, David. Welcome. Hello to Carlos.
Hello, Amy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Excellent. Have you ever been to the USA, Carlos?
Oh yes, almost all. Every year I find to travel to US, and I just arrived 2 weeks ago. And I was in US, in Miami, Florida.
Okay, so you went to Miami, which is, I'm guessing, a lot different to Detroit. Where else have you been in the USA? Have you been to Detroit by any chance?
No, only Miami, Atlanta, and Los Angeles.
Okay, so the sunny, hot places, right?
Exactly.
Good choice, good choice. All right, welcome to the class, Carlos.
Thank you.
And Alejandro, welcome. Are you there, Alejandro?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I was worried that you'd
Hello.
gone off to get a coffee. Welcome back. Have you been to the USA before?
No.
No? Would you like to one day?
Yes.
And which city or which place do you have in mind that you would like? New York or LA or Miami?
I would like to go to New York or Miami.
Good choice. I have to say, those are probably my top 2 destinations when I eventually get over there as well. All right, well, welcome everybody. What we're going to do is to, first of all, read just a really tiny intro about the USA. I'm going to paste it into the chat box. And it looks longer than it actually is because there's only 4 words per line. I'm going to ask Carlos if you wouldn't mind reading that, please. Can you see it there?
Pardon me, teacher?
Would you mind reading the little introduction from the chat box about the USA, please? Can you see it?
No, I didn't find it.
Alright, hold on. I'll paste it into both chat boxes. Just a moment. I've pasted it into the Verbling. You might be looking in the Google. How about now?
Okay. The United States of America, USA, or USA, commonly referred to as the United States, US, America, or sometimes the States, is a federal republic consisting of 50 50 states and a federal district. The 48 contiguous states in Washington, D.C. are in Central North America, between Canada and Mexico. The state of Alaska is the northwestern part of North America, and the state of Hawaii is an archipelago in the mid-Pacific. The country also has 5 populated and 9 unpopulated territories in the Pacific and the Caribbean. At 3.71 million square miles, 9.62 million kilometers, and with around 318 million people. The United States is the world's 30th or 4th largest country by total area and 3rd largest by population. It is one of the world's most ethnically diverse and multicultural nations, the product of large-scale immigration from many countries. The geography and climate of the United States is also extremely diverse and is home to a wide variety of wildlife.
Thank you, Carlos. A slightly random last sentence there, that it's home to a wide variety of wildlife. But there you go. There's an introduction. I think we probably all knew most of those facts. What we're going to do is we're going to read about one of the cities, which is probably not the top holiday destination, but a very kind of important city nevertheless, or at least it was when it had so much industry, and cycling around it, which is kind of unusual. So the way this lesson is going to work is you guys are going to take it in turns to read, just like Carlos there. We'll pause at the end of each section to discuss your pronunciation and check that everybody understands everything, so that you can have a real good practice. So take your time when it's your turn. Don't rush through. Really do your best to pronounce as well as you can, and make the most of it. And I'll give you some feedback. If you have any questions along the way, please let me know. And first of all, are there any questions about the little introduction? Do we understand everything in there, everybody?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Juan Carlos. All right, Juan Carlos, since you're ready to talk, would you mind reading out the title for us, please?
The headline?
Yes.
Okay. Psyching Detroit makes too much sense to ignore. Ignore.
Very good. All right, now do have a look at the pictures when you have time. Some good pictures there. We're going to slide down here, and if you could read a little bit more, please, from here, Juan Carlos.
Okay. When I told friends and family I would be cycling through Detroit, I heard one warning again and again. Make sure you wear a bulletproof vest. Most of them, of course, were unfamiliar with Detroit beyond having read a list of America's 10 most dangerous cities on Facebook. But that has rarely stopped anyone from sharing advice.
Very good. Keep going.
Okay. Related slideshow, Detroit beyond the bankruptcy. Sure, safety in Detroit can be an issue, just as in any urban environment across the globe. But a visit to the one-time heart of U.S. industry and innovation is essential, and doing so by speeding through neighborhoods without a second glance feels wrong. Detroit calls for more intimate exploration, and there is no better way to experience this iconic city, once ruled by cars, than on the saddle of a bike.
Excellent. Great reading, Juan Carlos.
Okay.
So your pronunciation's wonderful. It's just a couple of words where the intonation wasn't perfect. So this is essential.
Essential.
Yeah. And the emphasis is on this syllable, so essential.
Essential.
Good. This word here is doing. Doing.
Doing.
Yep. And doing so.
Doing so. And doing so.
Perfect. Well done. All right. Any questions about any of that, guys? A little bit of an introduction. Do we understand all the words? Any grammar that you don't get?
Yeah. I mean, what is that phrase? Without second glance feels wrong in the second paragraph.
Without a second glance. Okay. Does anybody know what it means to say without, or let's just look at this part here. What's a second glance?
A second look.
Yeah, a glance is just a look, looking again. So if you do something without a second glance, it has a little bit of an idiomatic meaning. It basically means that you kind of just ignore it, really. You look at it, but you don't really see the value, or you don't really see what's there. Okay? This feels wrong. What does it mean if something feels wrong?
It's bad. Not good.
Yeah, it feels bad, right? It's a bad idea. All right, so Marcos, could you continue, please, from on our first day?
Okay. On our first day, my wife, Milene, and I left our hotel downtown for a 1.7-mile ride north to the traffic jam and snug restaurant parking lot in the up-and-coming Midtown neighborhood, where we were meeting a cycling tour run by Stephen Johnson's Motor City Brew Tours. Already I could see why cycling Detroit made too much sense to ignore. Thanks to the negative space left by wild flight in the 1950s, the city feels huge, with wild roads. Oops.
Oh, sorry, guys. I was just looking up white flight because I've never heard of that term before. Keep going.
With wide roads built specifically for cars that are too large to encompass on foot. And on an early Saturday morning, the streets are quiet as the Arctic. In other words, it is an open frontier to cyclists.
Beautiful reading, Marcos. I've just found out what white flight is. Does anybody happen to know?
What? Where?
It's what Marcos was reading. It said here, thanks to the negative space left by white flight in the 1950s. Is anyone like a history buff or knows a lot about history in here? No?
No.
Alright, well let me tell you what Wikipedia says. It's a term that came out of the USA, and it is applying to when lots of white people, so from different European ancestries, basically moved out of cities. So I guess that's where it comes from. It's quite a nice little phrase there. And it left, when the industry kind of failed, it left lots of space. So that's why this guy feels like cycling is a good thing to do. Marcos, you have beautiful reading. What I would suggest that you could work on now, because your individual pronunciation of words is really good. I know that it's difficult when you don't understand exactly what you're reading because you've never seen it before. But what I suggest you do, Marcos, is to sort of try and take in a little bit of the words that are coming up in the sentence before you read them, so that you can get a better flow when you're reading. Because if you use your knowledge of English to help you understand what you're reading, and use the punctuation to help you, okay? So when there's a comma, take a pause, and use the pause to see what's coming up next, so you can connect up your words together in phrases as well, okay?
All right, thank you.
And well done, great reading. Any questions about this apart from white flight?
Hmm. What is Arctic?
Anyone can explain Arctic?
Mm, Arctic is the place, the more northern place in.
Yep. Very good, Juan Carlos. The Arctic is the northernmost continent. So it's right at the top of the world, where the North Pole is,
Mm.
as opposed to the Antarctic, which is right in the south. Is that clear,
Alright.
Marcos?
All right.
Do you know? Yeah?
Yeah, I got it.
Excellent. All right, we'll scroll down past. You can see the streets look very empty. How many lanes of traffic are there? All right, thank you, Marcos. Greg, your turn.
Okay. I was zoom in a little bit. Okay. After peaking in 1950 with more than 1 million and I'm sorry, and 18. I don't know how to read it. Big number.
All right, you were doing well. So if there's 6 digits, we always know it's 1 million, and then you just read this separately. So 1,800,000.
Okay, 1,100,000 residents. Detroit's population has dropped to approximately 681,000. The city lost a shocking 25% of its population between 2000 and 2010 alone, thanks to largely the financial struggles and then bankruptcy of both General Motors and Chrysler. Detroit's downtown began emptying for earlier. However, starting in 1950s, both residents and business followed newly constructed highways out to the suburbs. Coinciding lack of job and rise in crime caused more businesses and residents to leave, a cycle still seen today.
Well done.
Okay.
Just a pause there, Greg, because I'll get you to read the next paragraph in a moment. Just a few words in here. This one is bankruptcies. Bankruptcies.
Bankruptcies.
Well done. Don't forget. Detroit's.
Detroit's.
Good. All right.
Detroit is now I see the Detroit's. Okay.
Yeah, because it's talking about the population belonging to Detroit.
Yeah.
Emptying.
Emptying.
Good, that's better. And this last one here is coinciding.
Coinciding.
Very good. Keep going, Greg. Cycling.
Cycling through the city now, I saw structures barely standing, their windows punched out. Anything even remotely valuable had been stripped. It was a glimpse of what the Americans' dream had wrought on the city that ironically produced the American dream's most cherished symbol, the automobile.
Great, well done. Okay, a couple more words in here. So this one is even.
Even.
Good. This one is I, not E, but ironically.
Ironically.
Yeah, and last one, cherished.
Cherished.
Good. Okay, thank you very much, Greg, for that. Let's just talk about it for a moment. Do we understand everything, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good. Has anyone got any questions about vocab? What does cherished mean?
Something you love, your value.
Absolutely. Well done, Marcos. Something you really love or value. Anything else in here that we don't get?
The pronunciation is automobile or automobile?
Automobile. Automobile.
Automobile. Okay. Is there any difference between American and British?
Nope. Except they would say automobile.
Automobile. Alright, thank you.
Okay, good. So let's just pause for a second here, guys. It's talking a lot about the history of Detroit and the fact that because so many people have left, you know, it means that it's a great place for cycling. Is anyone here a fan of cycling?
I used to.
Yeah? What did you used to do?
I used to cycle everywhere I go.
You used to just cycle everywhere, to work, in the weekends?
Yes, everywhere. People used to say, "Come on, man, you have to walk a little bit."
Why did you give up, Marcos?
Sorry?
Why did you stop cycling?
Well, I started to work somewhere very far, so I had to start in taking buses. So I kind of put the bike down. So I stopped. I don't know. It was something kind of slowly stopping. So now my bike is abandoned right here
Yeah.
in the corner.
Oh, it's abandoned. Marcos, you have to
Yeah.
start cycling again at the weekends.
Yeah, I have to
What was
exercise
it?
a little bit.
Yeah, I think cycling's good for your body, like with regard to exercise, because you have to use lots of different muscles, right?
Yeah,
All right.
it's very important.
Well, I'm not a big fan of cycling because where I live in Auckland, there are loads of hills and I hate going up and down. But Detroit looks like it could be okay. I'm just wondering, Juan Carlos, if you wouldn't mind just muting your mic if you're not talking, because we can hear quite a bit of background noise, I think, from your office or wherever you are. Thank you. Okay, who else in this room has ever done any cycling? Or are we all anti-cycling?
When I was a kid, I loved to, cycling, but there was no really special reason. Just I love to be on the bike and just go.
Yeah. Was that back in Poland?
Yes, that was back in Poland. I don't do it anymore. It was quite funny story because I don't know, my parents bought me a bicycle which wasn't a small size but was a middle size, and later I become quite taller. Right now 1 meter and 80 something, so it was too small and it was.
So it was like a giant on a little bicycle, Greg.
No, actually my legs was too close to my chest and impossible to use it anymore, so the problem solved automatically because when I stopped it, I didn't come back to use it, and I don't know, and there's a moment when I just stop it and I never come back to it.
Oh, that's a shame, Greg, but it does sound rather funny, I have to say.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right, so I'm guessing. I mean, I've never been to Poland, and I've got a couple of Polish friends who say that it's gotten lots of really nice countryside.
Yes, the countryside is quite good, but I think right now there are not too many typical, farmers, but more villagers who just live on the village, not really a farmers. So it's quite different situation than it was 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
But I remember when I was in the countryside when I was a kid, because I have a chance to live there for 1 year. I'm typical person who just lived most of his life in the small city, 50,000 people. But I remember those, the bread, homemade bread, butter, and many other things. So beer.
You're making me hungry now, Greg. All right. I think it's interesting that some places, I mean, where I live in Auckland right now, there are a lot of cyclists, and they sometimes get annoying if you're driving, but we have some really good cycle lanes. So it's actually quite easy if you are interested in cycling to cycle around my city. So let's find out from David. David, are you in Bogota? I can't remember.
No, in Bogota. Me?
You are, or you're not?
No, I am.
Okay. What's it like? Could you, if you wanted to cycle, would it be easy to cycle in your city or not?
Yeah, well, the government make like a street just for cycling.
Yep.
We call in Spanish ciclovia. It's just a space like a road for just cycling or skating or walking. Yeah. And this space is just for cycling. But I think if you are going to cycling in the streets is kind of dangerous because the traffic jam in Bogota is horrible and I think it's a little bit dangerous.
Okay, so it would be quite dangerous. Although there are some, what we call them, I think you were talking about, David, is cycle lanes or designated cycle lanes where you're only allowed to ride a bike.
Yep.
All right, David, thank you. It was interesting finding out about different places. Could you continue reading for us, please, from We Arrived?
Yeah, sure. Okay. We arrived at the traffic jam and Snoop with a few minutes to spare. Melanie and I were the only ones on the tour to arrive by bike. Everyone else lodged their bicycles from the backs of cars. Most would later admit that they are Detroiters, who had never actually explored Detroit city proper beyond Tigers or Red Wings games and the highway that brought them there. Johnson, appropriately wearing an illustrated "I bike for beer" t-shirt, gave a brief introduction to a history of Detroit brewing, one of several tours the company offers, including cycling the city's auto history, but the promise of beer at the end proved too enticing. We cycled east along Canfield Street toward the former home of Cinda Brewing Company, once a staple of Detroit brewing and today a mostly empty parking lot.
Great, thank you. That was great reading, David. Just a couple of words. This one here is lugged.
Okay, look.
Good. Now, this is a really simple word, but don't forget in English it's t-shirt.
Yeah, sorry, t-shirt.
Yeah, well done. And last one, this one is promise. What's promise?
Promise.
Perfect. Excellent work. Okay. So this guy has joined a group of actual people from Detroit itself, but they've never really explored their own city, which I can totally kind of relate to because I'm a bit like this. Any questions, guys? Do we understand the words? What is to lug something?
What does mean enticing?
All right, good question. We'll go back to that in a moment. Entice. What's entice?
Entice.
Anyone know?
Exciting?
Yes. If something's exciting, it might also be enticing.
Oh,
It means
entice. Yeah, it's to motivate. Enticing is to motivate.
Yeah, that's a great one. Okay, so to motivate or perhaps attract
Yeah.
into something, right?
Encourage, like encourage, maybe?
Yeah, encourage as well.
Mm.
Entice suggests a little bit more sort of, I don't know, slyness about it or something. It's as if someone's trying to get you to do something. They're enticing you to do it by making it look very attractive or exciting. Okay. Does anybody know what to lug is? Or go back to that one. To lug something.
To attach?
Put.
No. Not put, not attach.
It's to grab.
Accommodate.
Grab, almost. It's more like to carry. But when you say to lug, it really means something heavy, something really difficult or inconvenient or heavy. So we usually would say like something lug around your suitcases, right? Because they're heavy and kind of annoying. Or these people are lugging their bicycles, so they're quite big and quite awkward to deal with. That's what this word has a sort of connotation of. Any other questions about vocab?
maybe staples.
Which one, Juan Carlos?
In the last paragraph, once a staple of Detroit Bruins.
What's a staple? A staple. This one here? Yeah?
Yes.
What's a staple, guys? Good question. Does anyone know, or can anybody guess?
Maybe crowded. Crowded.
Nope, not crowded.
Uh,
No? Alright, so a staple, there's two main meanings as a noun. One is I don't know whether you guys know what a stapler is. It's like one of those little machines that you use to attach paper together with a little metal pin thing. That's a staple. But in this case, a staple is something else, Juan Carlos. This staple is a chief commodity or the main or most important product of an area, okay?
Okay.
So in this case, it means that this what was it called? Zinder beer, or whatever they brewed, was the most important product of the area. It was the staple, but now it's changed.
Like a well-known place, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, not just well-known, but also very important, like to the economy, to people's well-being, that kind of thing.
Okay.
We can use it, for example, if we say a staple crop or a staple food, what we mean is the most important crop or the most important food of that area. So, for example, you know, rice in Southeast Asia, or corn maybe in other countries. That would be the staple crop. Okay.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe can I say an icono? Icono. Do you?
An icon? Do you mean this one here?
Icono.
Yeah, an icon. Yeah, an icon gives the sense that it's sort of famous, whereas a staple gives the sense that it's somehow important to people's lives.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you, David. It's Carlos, your turn to read. We're going to scroll down to below the photo, across the streets.
Okay, across the street was Forest Park, where locals mow the grass. With the city bankrupt, Johnson said, much of park maintenance has been turned over to volunteer efforts. Economic crisis or not, residents are not giving up on their city. Keep going.
Yep.
We caught more glimpses of life as we continue around St. Albans, down toward the famous Easter Market, a Detroit landmark of the National Register of Historic Places. Easter Market dates back to 1841, when it was in downtown's Cadillac Square. It moved to its present-day location along Russell Street between Mack Avenue and the Fisher Freeway in 1891. Today, according to the market, it houses the world's largest bedding flower market, along with more than 150 food and specialty businesses, and estimated 45,000 Detroiters come each Saturday morning, and it shows as you cycle through.
Beautiful, thanks, Carlos. A few words to go over. This is mow, to mow the grass.
Mow the grass. Mow the grass.
So that means to cut the grass, okay? We may say that more in the UK than the USA. It's the same meaning. Efforts I'm trying to find somewhere around here.
Effort.
Yeah, so efforts there it is. Efforts has the emphasis on the first syllable, okay? Effort.
Effort.
That's good, yeah. And same as register.
Register.
Good, and the last one was historic.
Historic.
Beautiful. Great reading, Carlos. Well done. Okay, any questions about vocabulary?
Betting.
Could you repeat that and tell me whereabouts is it?
The world's largest bedding flower market.
Ah, bedding flower market. Yeah, this is interesting. Bedding usually refers to a bed that you sleep in, right? But when we're talking about the garden, we also talk about flower beds. Have you guys heard that before? Flower bed?
Yes, there's something about the flower beds. How to explain? I know this, I heard the word because I see it. I just write it down, but I never use it.
All right. So, Greg, you're familiar with it. Can you have a try? Have a guess what it might mean?
Flower bed. I don't know. I just how to explain. I cannot explain really because I know the word. I see it. I just use it, but never. I don't remember the exact meaning. I could be wrong.
Right. Okay, so a flower bed. Actually, if you just look in the picture, and you can see the caption. Right. This is talking about flower beds. It's simply just the kind of area of the garden or the area of the wherever you might be, park or something, where flowers grow. For some reason we call them flower beds. It's like where they're planted. So these would be flower beds. Okay?
Like, maybe it's like a carpet?
Yeah, exactly. But it looks like a carpet here because there's so many of them, but it doesn't have to be. It could be really small, Juan Carlos. So it'd be something like your grandma would say, "Don't throw the ball in my flower beds," because she doesn't want you to squash her flowers, right? Okay, next page. We're going to go on to the next page. So I'm going to get the lovely Alejandro to read for us, please. You can just load that. Alejandro from Winding.
Okay. Winding between brick industrial buildings now covered in graffiti. We paused to admire the former home of the Eckhart and Becker Brewing Company, where the E&B initials remain prominent in the exterior's mosaic.
Very good, Alejandro. I'll get you to read a little bit more, but we'll just pause to check if anyone has any questions.
No.
Well, that's great to know. Thank you. Okay, we'll scroll down. And if you can carry on reading, please, from nearing the end.
Yes. Nearing the end of our tour, we made our way toward the revitalized Detroit River Walk, a 5.5-mile promenade that connects the Rivertown area to downtown, courtesy of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. The River Walk has been designed exclusively for pedestrian and non-motorized wheel traffic. Biking west, we saw the small city of Windsor, Canada, on our left, while the famous Detroit skyline rose before us. Today, the promenade continues to expand with a new 20-acre westward extension opened in July, The city plans to finish the full 2-mile extension between Riverfront Towers and Rosa Parks Boulevard by September.
Thank you, Alejandro. Really beautiful reading. Well done. Just a couple of little words. In English, this is, well, the word has the emphasis on the first syllable, so it's Canada.
Canada.
Yeah. And then this one here is a bit of a weird one. Acre.
Acre.
Good. Does anyone know what the word acre means? What's the 20-acre westward extension?
Yeah, it's like the area of the extension, Amy?
Yep, absolutely. It's a measurement of area. Well done,
Yeah.
thank you. David, that was great. Any other questions about vocab?
Yeah, Amy, what is promenade?
A promenade, or you can say promenade. Anyone know?
Promenade. Something. The first.
The first? Actually, no. It's actually a thing. A thing, Alejandro.
Sorry. I don't know.
Anyone know? Has anyone heard this before?
Promenade.
No? It's basically just you can see it in the picture actually. It's this thing here. It's like a public walkway. Some sort of walkway in public that you can use for pleasure. So it's not quite often alongside water, a river, sea, or through a park or something. And that's what it's referring to.
Path.
So we're gonna, yeah?
Like a path? Like a path?
Yeah, it's exactly like a nice wide path. You wouldn't say a path could be sort of a narrow winding through trees. A promenade is a very wide, easy to walk on path. No hills, no stones. You could usually roller skate or cycle along it, something like that. A lot of seaside places have these, so you can walk along the seaside. Alright, so let's just talk about this for a moment. We've only got a few minutes left of class. I want to ask, who hasn't spoken for a little while? Carlos, where do you live? Remind me.
I live in Brazil.
Alright, which place in Brazil?
I live in the north of Brazil, in Amazon. Yeah.
That's right, I remember now. So is it, I just want to talk a little bit about this because it's quite interesting, like the idea of sort of cycling round your city for pleasure. Do you live in a city or do you live in sort of the countryside, Carlos?
I live in a capital, but my city is really difficult to, ride in daily basis in my city because it's too crowded. And the traffic is completely out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
But on the weekends, there's a good parks to ride, and or sometimes you can, when people used to training to competitions, you can ride on the middle of night.
Oh really? In the middle of the night?
Yeah, middle of night. I used to go to do triathlons, and I used to training at 4:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Is that because it's nice and quiet?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, that is dedication for you.
That's exactly why I stopped to do triathlons, because sometimes you had to training twice in a day, so it was really difficult.
That sounds tough, Carlos. Well, my goodness, that's impressive. Juan Carlos, how about you? Where do you live?
Nowadays, I live in Bogota, and David has already talked about the city.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you agree with him on what he said?
Yes, it's a very crowded city, and there is no place to drive or or, or to ride as a bike.
Mhm.
There is some lanes, bike lanes,
Cycle lanes. Yep.
cycle lanes, but it's not complete the route.
Oh,
So
so you can only use it
can
for. I see.
you can drive or ride. You can bike, but in some places you don't have the cycle lanes,
Yeah.
so you had to go to the automobiles lanes, and it's dangerous.
I see. That's a shame. Absolutely. Let's see what Alejandro has to say. Alejandro, I've forgotten where you live. Where do you live?
I live in Spain,
Which city?
Barcelona.
All right. So do lots of people use bikes in Barcelona?
Yes, everybody um, have a bike,
Mm-hmm.
and they uh, yes. Sorry.
That's okay. Just keep going. I'm interested to hear what you were saying. And
There are a lot of bikes in Barcelona.
do you yourself have one?
No, I prefer motorbike.
Okay. I think a lot of people also have motorbikes. Is that right, Alejandro?
Um, yes, here in Barcelona there are a lot of motorbike too.
All right. And I think that it's quite a good city for riding. Is that right? Is it quite easy to cycle in Barcelona?
Yes, because the authorities um, don't want a lot of cars
Okay.
inside the city.
So they're encouraging cycling.
Mm, yes.
All right, that's great. I think it's always nice. I always enjoy visiting a city that has some kind of pedestrian-only area, or, as you say, maybe where you can use non-motored vehicles. I think it's nice and relaxing. You can enjoy it more. You don't have to worry about traffic running you over. All right, everybody, some really good reading. Don't forget to just have a glance at the chat box before you leave, just in case there's anything there that I've typed while you've been talking. But overall, superb reading from all of you today. We've had a good discussion about cycling. Maybe you'll get inspired to go cycling. So have a great day. The rest of the day, if you are off to bed now, have a good sleep, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Okay.
Bye bye, teacher.
Thank you, teacher. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Take care.